I'm Julie Salant. I'm here today with Jane Strong, who is the director of the Equis Effect in Sharon, Connecticut. Thank you for having us today.
You're welcome, Julie. Thank you for coming out. We're glad to have you.
So I just wanted to talk with you a little bit about the program and kind of what your role here is as the director.
Well, we founded this in 2012. We got our status as a nonprofit and started to work with veterans in 2013. That year we saw 21 veterans, and this year we've seen over 200. So we're growing like crazy.
Wow.
And I think that, the reason we started was because my business partner David, and I realized that when we found out about this 22 suicides a day, we just felt like the VA is doing what they can, but they're clearly don't have all the answers. Not that they're not trying to address the issue, it's just that we felt, knowing what we knew about horses and natural horsemanship particularly, where you ask a horse to do something and use leverage and influence versus dominance and control, we kind of thought that that might help the vets do the same, learn how to do that and learn how to, in the process, make peace with themselves, and make the transition from war to peace, which we believe is a long journey. And we believe that it takes a lot of different approaches to enable vets to do that. And we felt that the horses were going to be really good at this, and they are.
Yay! How do the horses help the vets specifically?
Well, I would say that probably our process is we teach the veterans who come usually like this, not sure about this at all. We teach them how horses see the world, which is through the lens of a prey animal, meaning that if they make a mistake, they're dinner. And I think that a lot of veterans coming home when they don't have their weapons anymore and they don't have each other to have their backs, feel a bit like prey animals, and so they have a sort of a defensiveness about them, and they either avoid things or they try to control things and manage things so that they don't feel this vulnerability that a prey animal like a horse lives with all the time.
Right.
And vulnerability is not a bad thing at all.
Right.
And I think this is a big piece of information for a veteran who has been trained and taught that vulnerability is not cool. So learning about the horses to start with, we teach them about how they see the world as prey animals, and also the fact that they come equipped with 340-degree vision, 170-degree range with their ears. They can sense your heart rate and muscle tension and respiration from up to 30 feet away. So they come equipped with what the Department of Defense spends thousands of dollars equipping a recruit to go into combat. Horses just do that naturally, and I think that probably this impresses veterans with the fact that, wow, they not only are they kind of feel like I do, but also that they're pretty do a good job.
Right.
They've been around for 56, 55 million years, and they're still here.
They're still here.
So we teach them about horses, then we get them out working with them, and we have them take them out of the barn and groom them. We call that making a connection. And we know that sort of bilateral stimulation of grooming a horse and putting your hand on him is going to create a nice circle of caring, non-threatening caring, and what Fred was talking about being non-threatening, that's how that comes through. And you really have a lot of choice about how to put your hands on a horse. And that's what we show the vets, and the ones who are, it's kind of like, if your intention is to do that, that's great. But also some of them don't have that intention, and they wind up there anyway because it's just such a natural thing, is this beautiful big creature that you're caring for is responding with either really standing still or falling asleep.
Tell me a little bit about, I've got some friends here.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how the horses choose the vets when they come in, because we've talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, we don't assign a veteran to a horse because we feel that there's something going on. There's some reason why a veteran will choose a horse, and sometimes why a horse will choose a veteran. So there's some kind of resonance, and we trust that. We wouldn't put someone who we feel is very you know, really scared and timid and tentative with Madrid.
Right.
Because he's a little bit less sensitive to boundaries.
Right.
And he's a little bit more, it's not stubborn, it's more, he's just more opinionated. And so he, you know, we would put him with somebody who we feel has a little wherewithal if we needed to make the choice. But a lot of times the horses and the vets choose each other, and we just trust it.
Right.
Just the way it goes. And it's a really cool thing because it pans out. And we don't know exactly why, but it pans out. And
what's the ultimate goal at the end of the program for the vets to get? What do you want them to have, their takeaway?
we really want them to have a sense of confidence. We teach them a lot about how to work with horses, so they build competence skills. They also build a sense of resilience, that they can handle different things. We feel that we give them a sense of being both relaxed and energized at the same time, which nobody is really used to being those things. Usually when you're energized, you're angry or you're in danger or you're doing something to protect yourself or to get what you want. When you're relaxed, you're kind of chilling out. And so what we teach them is that the best way to deal with a horse, and the best way to deal with people, by the way, is to be relaxed and energized.
Right.
So you're able to be engaged without being in danger or angry.
Do they have any homework that they have to do, or is it all done here?
No, we see them once a week for 5 weeks,
Okay.
and so the homework is life.
Okay.
So what happens at home? Well, how did you deal with the relationships at home based on work that you did here? And you know, life gives you plenty of homework, and there's plenty of people out there to set you off or to, you know, bring things up.
Yep.
We don't have to give them homework. We just ask them to take a look at, where do you notice fear? Where do you notice vulnerability? Because part of our work is this, what we call psychoeducation, or a didactic piece where we teach them what emotions really mean, and how to deal with them differently. They have more choices than they think.
So when they first start the program, they may feel defensive and uncomfortable, and by the end, they have real tools that they can take with them.
Oh yeah.
That the horses and you have taught them
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting because I think that one of why this matters to me more than anything is I want people to feel that they have choices and that they have more latitude in the way they respond, and that it isn't a matter of, well, I'm always going to be this way in this situation, or I'm always going to be that way. I'm either going to be in control or shut down. And we want people to know, the veterans really mostly, to know that there's more than one way to be, and that those ways work in civilian life more effectively than my way or the highway.
Right, and horses are the perfect animal to teach that, because
Totally.
they're so smart. They give us calming signals, and they can create that bond, a real true bond that sometimes is difficult with another human.
Yeah.
So once their defenses are down, and then you can do this great work.
Right, and the other thing is that it's a good point about why the horses are particularly good at this, is that if you come across in a certain way that kind of puts a horse off or has them be lost,
Yep.
or not feel connected to you, the second you change, the horse will say, oh, there you are,
Right.
I'll go with you.
Right.
And so when you say, like, a horse like Madrid can be difficult, he's just not connecting. And so if it's up to you, if you want to connect, you got to work at it.
Right.
And working at it means being trustworthy, consistent, clear, honest, all those things that are non-threatening and work in life. And then he'll go right with you.
Right.
The moment, it's the blink of an eye, the
Right.
moment you come home to your true self and engage them in a way that's good-hearted and true and authentic, they're like, oh,
They
okay,
respond to that.
totally cool with that. And people will be, boy, did you see that jerk? You know, I can't believe, you know, you go through all this nonsense with people, and the horses are a great way to practice.
Right, right. You're doing some excellent work here. And I know you worked with over 200 vets. What about the future? What are your thoughts in terms of growing the facility, working with other vets, or are there any other different groups that you might be working with?
Well, we do work with some other groups from treatment centers just in order to, those are paid, contracts that we have with these other groups and from different organizations that are helping people recover from substance abuse. But that really only supports the work we do with the vets, because we never charge the veterans for our work. We feel like they've written a blank check to Uncle Sam.
Right.
We would never charge them for our work, so that it just helps support this work. But what I want to do in the future is I really want to get this under the wire, so to speak, into the Department of Defense, so that when vets come home, they have a chance to unwind with this work.
Right.
Because it's not people, it's not, you don't have the same kind of expectations. A horse doesn't expect you to be away.
Right.
He responds.
Right.
Or she responds. So if we could get this into the system as a way of decruiting
Yeah.
or rebooting
Yep.
for civilian life, I would think that would be fabulous. And if we could open up facilities all around the country and offer this curriculum,
Yep.
which is a 5-session thing that is more and more complex, and you get more and more sophisticated at it, then I would love that.
That would be great. Thank
I'd
you
love
for
that.
talking with us. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.